Not even Scarlett Johansson in a skin-tight bodysuit could stop the bad reviews haunting the 2017 live-action remake of Ghost in the Shell. While the film should serve as a reminder that adapting anime for the silver screen isn't as straightforward as one would think, studios are still determined to keep trying. A number of US studios have anime adaptations in production right now, so strap on your cat ears, pop open some Pocky, and check out these anime properties that have upcoming live-action remakes. Death Note. Based on the manga series of the same name, the original animated adaptation of Death Note won an award for Best TV Anime in 2007. A decade later, there are high hopes for the American remake. Adam Wingard, director of the horror thriller The Guest, said that he's enjoyed the freedom that comes with releasing his live-action version of Death Note through Netflix, suggesting that their lack of a rating system means he's able to incorporate all the madness of the original. The film, which is due to debut in August 2017, stars Nat Wolff as Light Turner, with Willem Dafoe providing the voice of his demon companion Ryuk, which, honestly, isn't too far off. Alita, Battle Angel. Produced by James Cameron, Alita Battle Angel is an adaptation of a 90s cyberpunk classic. The Terminator director was first introduced to the manga series by Hellboy and Pacific Rim director Guillermo del Toro, who, knowing Cameron's body of work, thought he'd be interested in it. Laeta Kalogridis was brought on board to pen the script, and her personal knowledge of the property helped bring the remake to life. Directed by Robert Rodriguez and on course for a July 2018 release, Alita Battle Angel stars Maze Runner's Rosa Salazar as Alita, a cyborg who's been recovered from a scrap heap by a cybernetics professor played by Christoph Waltz. Michelle Rodriguez and Jennifer Connelly round out the supporting cast. Akira. The Hollywood adaptation of Katsuhiro Otomo's Akira has been in development hell for so long that it's almost become a thing of legend. But recent stirrings about the hunt for a new director have raised eyebrows again. News of a remake first broke in 2002, but a mixture of script, casting, and budget issues set it back over the next decade. And it seemed to have finally been called off in 2012, with Warner Brothers axing it as part of studio cutbacks. Rumors that the studio was finally ready to take things forward with Akira began popping up again in 2016, when Justin Lin was set to direct, though more recent rumors placed Jordan Peele at the top of WB's wish list. So, has Akira been rescued from development hell? Time will tell. Tiger and Bunny. Originally a one-shot published in 2011, Tiger and Bunny went on to be serialized as a manga and then adapted into an anime series, all within the space of a year. Producer-director Ron Howard was first attached to a live-action version in late 2015, when it was announced that his Imagine Entertainment would join forces with Bandai Namco Pictures. The story takes place in Sternbild City, where people known as Nexts have started developing superpowers. Given Hollywood's obsession with superhero properties, Tiger and Bunny could potentially do big things. But Howard and Namco know that's a delicate job. Screenwriter Ellen Shanman was given the task, who Howard called the perfect match to adapt this wildly popular story for new audiences. Fullmetal Alchemist. Unlike many upcoming anime adaptations, Warner Bros.' Fullmetal Alchemist live-action remake is being shot with a Japanese cast using Japanese language, which is a little unusual, considering the story set in the fictional country of Amestris, which is loosely based on 19th century Europe. Director Fumihiko Sori explains, "I wanted to create a style that follows the original manga as much as possible. The cast is entirely Japanese, but the cultural background is Europe. However, it's a style that doesn't represent a specific race or country. There will never be a scene in which a character says something that would identify him/her as Japanese." Japanese fans are reportedly fearing the worst for Fullmetal Alchemist, which was rated the second best anime of all time on My Anime List. The film is due out in December 2017, and based on what's been revealed so far, it'll closely follow the plot of the original manga. Voltron. Despite Netflix beating Hollywood to the punch in 2016 with their critically acclaimed animated reboot series Voltron Legendary Defender, a live-action feature-length remake of the classic 80s show is still being developed. Voltron was the brainchild of the late Peter Keefe, who licensed the giant robot-based Japanese shows Beast King Go Lion and Armored Fleet Diriger 15. Keefe's team spliced them together into a brand new show with overdubbed English dialogue, creating new stories in the process. DreamWorks acquired the rights to a live-action Voltron film years ago, but when Universal bought out the studio toward the end of 2016, the project ended up in temporary limbo. More recently, Universal announced that they still intended to make Voltron, with David Hayter of X-Men and Watchmen fame on board to pen the screenplay. Still no word on who will form the head, though. Robotech.
Another US anime made from existing Japanese shows, Robotech combines Macross, Southern Cross, and Mos Pieta into a brand new universe for American audiences. Director James Wan is a fan, and his knowledge of the series' origins should serve him well in the adaptation's creation. The film suffered a setback when rights holders Harmony Gold disagreed with how Warner Brothers were handling the property and decided to shack up with Sony instead. There are no official production dates or cast to announce yet, but we do know Sony ordered a page-one rewrite of the script. So, how close will this skew to the original? Harmony Gold's animation president, Tommy Yoon, says we should expect something new, saying, "It's a clean slate. It may share commonality in that it is based on the original series. However, the writers are taking a different approach to it." Attack on Titan. The beautifully brutal manga Attack on Titan had a whopping 66 million copies in circulation as of April 2017. And that will only rise if Warner Brothers can bring their planned live-action English-language adaptation to the big screen. The story takes place in a world where humanity lives in a huge walled-off city, which is their last defense against the Titans, grotesque, man-eating giants. Attack on Titan has already been adapted into a two-part movie in Japan, and not completely successfully. Despite the earlier adaptation setbacks, Warner Brothers intends to remake these two films rather than adapt their own version directly from the original manga. Deadline reports that Warner Brothers is locked in negotiation over the remake rights, with Harry Potter producer David Heyman lined up to take charge of the project. If the studio fails to strike a deal, others will soon be lining up to make their own pitch, and a Hollywood remake of Attack on Titan seems like merely a matter of time. Naruto. In 2016, respected manga magazine Shonen Jump revealed that a Hollywood remake of Naruto was in the works under the guidance of Lionsgate Studios and director Michael Gracie. In terms of source material, the original Naruto series consisted of 220 episodes, and Naruto Shippuden aired a whopping 500 installments, so the filmmakers certainly won't run short on ideas should this film develop into a franchise. In considering who's producing, Marvel Studios co-founder and former chief executive Avi Arad, that's a very real possibility. If anyone knows how to transition from print to the screen, it's him. Wary of superhero fatigue among audiences, he went looking for a new angle. According to his son and partner Ari, they're working on creating an incredibly visual and cool world. Hopefully the two will have learned some valuable lessons after what happened with that other big anime movie they produced, 2017's Ghost in the Shell. Thanks for watching. Click the looper icon to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Plus check out all this cool stuff we know you'll love too.